Hello everyone, this is Jian. I'm very glad to be here and share my research findings and HITV today. Really appreciate the opportunity. The topic I would like to share today is breaking Siemens SIMATIC and 7 PLC protection mechanism. Before I begin, I would like to introduce myself real quick. My name is Jian from Xi'an, China. Currently, an industry control system security researcher at NS Focus. The research mainly focuses on PLC, DCS, SCADA, industrial equipment, and system. Working includes things like vulnerability modeling, industry field security testing, and evaluation. For the past few years, I have reported several vulnerabilities to Siemens, COMMSEC, Schneider, and so on. A dozen CVEs and of course 6 notes from these companies. If you have any questions or ideas regarding the security aspect of industry control system, please feel free to contact me. Here is my email. I'm looking forward to your emails. So, here is the layout of today's presentation. First of all, I will give a brief introduction of SIMATIC PLC and its application series, including what series of SIMATIC PLCs have, what a PLC protection mechanism is, and why I want to break them, what possible implications are after breaking the mechanism, and so on, followed by more detailed explanations of how to break the protection mechanism according to different series of products. Okay, let's get started. SIMATIC is a PLC produced by Siemens for industry. There are several SIMATIC series products like S3 and S5, but they were outdated and withdrawn from the market. The latest series now is S7, which has been the most popular PLC in the market and used in areas of critical infrastructure, such as energy, power grid, water, automotive, manufacturing, and other scenarios. SIMATIC PLC has a variety of built-in security measures, and we will look into ones regarding access control protection today. Access protection provides comprehensive protection against unauthorized configuration changes. Authorization leaves can be used to against separate rights. Access protection provides comprehensive protection against unauthorized configuration changes. Authorization leaves can be used to assign separate rights to different user groups. Different authorization group has different authorization leaves to perform different activities. Breaking the authorization group boundary will allow us to perform sensitive activities outside of our authorization leave, like application downloading, uploading, starting, and stopping of the controller, which are all designed to be secured by high-level authorization leave, and misconducting them could potentially lead to PLC failure. In addition, bypass the authorization could let us guide the core application program for the controller, which may be the most valuable patented techniques and core competitiveness of a company. If the core techniques are acquired by its competitors, it's devastating for the company. So, for whatever reasons, the access protection mechanism is brushed. All related activities, devices, and even our physical life could be potentially at risk. First, let's take a look at the S7-200 series, which has a Chinese version with Level 4 password protection. At this level, we can't upload the application program even with a correct password, so it's supposed to be a quite secure mechanism regarding the protection of the core intellectual property. But there is always a way to bypass it. Let's see how. After some analysis, we understood that there are several steps in the Level 4 protection mechanism. First, we need to set a Level 4 password in the system block, and then calculate a ciphertext using a specific algorithm. After comparing, the result is downloaded, use PPI protocol, and then saved into EEPROM chip. Now that we know the password information is in the EEPROM, the general idea is decoding it, reading information out of it, changing the password level byte, loading the key parameters of the original system block to the computer, and mission accomplished. Let's take a look at it in more detail. The picture on the left is a screenshot of the EEPROM, and in the middle is our self-made debugging toolkit, so that we could frequently read from and write through EEPROM with ease. The diagram on the right is the content of EEPROM. After analysis, we found the bits for its password level, and show in the red box here a 04 access level and byte for the encrypted password, and show in the blue box here the encrypted 你好123 password. However, thoroughly altering the password level byte so that we have a level 1 instead of level 4 is not enough to bypass the authorization, since the PLC uses another 2-byte verification in EEPROM, which is familiar, completed, jailbreaked. But we have a smarter idea to bypass it. The idea is let it self-solve the problem. We can extract the parameters of the system block from the original bin file, fabricate a client to encapsulate the parameters to PPI message, and install it back into PLC, so that PLC can go through the verification procedure. Paired with the password level byte change, we now bypass the level 4 authorization and get the core application inside in the PLC. Now let's take a look at Siemens S7-200 Smart PLC, designed for Asia market. For this series of PLC, we performed a man-in-the-middle attack to stop the traffic between the PLC and the configuration software. We try to decipher the hidden information embedded in the traffic and found something quite interesting. We try to decipher the hidden information embedded in the traffic and found something quite interesting, which will help us guide the password hints for the access protection. First of all, we still need to know the algorithm of its authorization, or how its password protection is implemented. After some research, it's found that there is a 4-step challenge response process. First, the client initiates the process and requests the PLC value number R key, and then the PLC returns with a 22-bit challenge, and then the client sends the response a calculated 20-byte hash value, and finally, the PLC verifies the challenge response pair and returns the corresponding result. Since the 20 bytes hash value can be obtained from the traffic, we then need to know what algorithm is used to get this value. Provided with the 22-byte PLC challenge and the password set by the user. To do that, we reverse the COMML7.dll in the step 7 microvin configuration software. After analysis, the algorithm is like this. There are 3 key variables: the input, password, and 22 bytes are key returned by the controller, and the hardcode key stored in the controller. The first step is to do a SHA-1 calculation of the password and the first 2 bytes of the R key, get X. The last 20 bytes of R key are Y, and XY is used as input parameter. The first 2 bytes of R key are used to replace the 13 and 14 bytes of the hardcode key inside the PLC. After the replacement, a new hardcode key is created. Finally, to get the 20-byte hash value, we use X, Y, and the new hardcode key to perform a HMAC SHA-1 algorithm. At this point, we have the 22 bytes R key, the hardcode key, and the 20-byte hash value, and I have implemented a script to calculate the hash. Then we try to breach the access protection by cracking the user input password with an offline brute force attack. So the whole process would be sniffing the traffic to the locate the authorization information and then brute force the password. We have tested that a 6-digit password only took about 17 seconds on a normal PC, so it's quite feasible. Okay, S7 300 and 400 is the most widely used large PLCs in the industry field at present. They are mainly used in the control of critical infrastructure, such as storage, smelting, oil depot management, and other screens. Access control protection of its series has been cracked through the past few years, with online brute force attacks and corresponding tools have been released. What we are going to talk about today is finding mystery information through the protection project fields and use the information to break through access protection mechanism. First, we found HATTRNG1.dbt field in the project field, for which we found the cipher text. We found the corresponding encryption algorithm by reverse the step 7 and 7 HKCOMMEC.dll field, as shown in the diagram on the right. This algorithm is a simple XOR encryption, and ciphertext information is obtained through XOR encryption. Then we can write a corresponding decryption script with the ciphertext to get the corresponding plain text password. Once we get the plain text password, we get the direct access to the S7 300 and 400 PLC controller. Finally, let's take a look at the S7 1200 series. which is the most secure series of the whole Siemens PLC products. Its latest version, V4, is a high-end PLC in China with more comprehensive security features, and its access protect mechanism differs from other series. The S7 child hazard PLC has 3 different passwords with separate permissions. Any action with a certain permission level can only be granted with the corresponding permission level password. Similarly, the overall security of the S7 child hazard series is fairly strong. The 32-byte integrated verification mechanism and the communication protocol S7 compliance are protected by a variety of mechanisms, which can't be bypassed using the similar technique we mentioned before. However, with passing the hash attack to deal with this situation. This attack was very effective for breaking the access protection of the S7 child hazard series. Here is how we did it. First, the first step is to get access to the S7 child hazard memory, which can be done in 2 ways. The first is exploit vulnerability and use a tool to dump out of the memory. This vulnerability is likely to be a hardware fault which can't be fully fixed. With a special access function of your arch, we can create a script to read out all the contents of a given address and save them. And hence, we will have the memory of the device. The second method is hardware desoldering. The NQ281 chip that stores firmware and application data can be soldered, and use a logical program to take out all of the content. The second step is to look for key information from the memory retrieved in the first step. The memory of a 7 child hazard has a total of 128 MB, which starts with the bootloader followed by the firmware and application data of the device. We analyzed the latest firmware version of S7 2015C in detail, May 2021, and obtained its code segment, read-only data segment, and starting address and length of the data segment. The corresponding decompiled pseudo code is also obtained by loading the code segment content using IDE. The third and the most important step is to find out exactly where the password is stored. After the reverse of the core process module OMSP CoreManage.dl, it's found that the password is stored in the form of SHA-1. The HMI access protection password 20-byte hash, read access protection password hash, full access protection password hash. All of the password hash are stored in the memory of the BSS segment in exit order. At this point, when the password is set to none, you can locate it in the BSS section, which starts with the non-passwords SHA-1 characteristic DA39A3. If all passwords are not set to none, you can start from where most of 0000s and look for 20 bytes of the SHA-1 feature that precede them. Once successfully located the 20-byte hash, we could mount an 34 dBg on the configuration software TRA to locate the password encryption process. We then replace the run hash directory with the 20-byte hash. We found in the memory to perform pass the hash tag. In this case, we could breach the S7 12-header access protection mechanism. The following is a demo of the attack. First, we create a new project and upload the application program on the PLC to be brushed. And then we mount a X74 dBg into a random password. Continue the process till we hit the breakpoint where the password encryption happens. Replace the 20-byte hash. Continue the process. Now, we have successfully used the tag to bypass the protection and can then perform the desired action like uploading applications, stop and run the PLC controller. Okay. In May 2021, Siemens released the latest firmware version V450 for S7 12-header series. The version addressed a lot of security issues, such as enhancing the encryption of CPU access new password, encrypting PLC configuration data, and using TLS to achieve secure PGBC and HMI communication. However, we found a very interesting thing. We have a S7 1215C firmware upgrade to V450 version. An application with access protection was configured and installed into the upgrade PLC using TRA V13. At this point, if we need to upload an application or create a new project using TRA, a password input box should pop up and let us enter the correct password. However, when we upload the application, TRA didn't pop up any authorization interaction and just upload the application with the password. We don't know why this happened, but it was clearly a bug. Without any great details, we could get access to the password-protected project. We have gone through the firmware update information of Siemens in detail, which mentioned that the firmware with enhanced security feature must cooperate with the Step 7 V17 basic software in order to verify whether the latest version TRA V17 and firmware V450 also sustain the hash parsing attack. We need to find the software for Step 7 V17 basic. Unfortunately, as of May 20, 2021, we have yet to find the official download address or any information of this software. If you are interested in this issue, feel free to contact us for future information and discussion. So far, we have covered several access protection faults and ways to break the protection mechanism. But as PLC manufacturers, how can we enhance the access protection security features to prevent such attacks? Let's start by looking at ways to enhance security from the configuration software. First, subvirtual code protection techniques can be added to improve the difficulty of reserve energy, such as code obfuscation, adding a high security shell for the software. The second is introduce the idea of neutral authentication, so that the PLC and the configuration software is verified neutrally. The third is to use the encryption technology to strengthen the protection of protect fields, because sometimes protect fields are an attacking vector that we often overlooked. With protect fields, one can obtain the password information, which can be used to brush password protection like we shown in the above S7-300 example. Let's take a look at some ways to enhance security from a PLC controller. First, sensitive information should be stored in the trust block, which can be reinforced by software or hardware. For example, encryption keys, challenges, core algorithms, and other information should be placed in the trust block to prevent it from being easily obtained by malicious attackers. The second is to add neutrally manually. The second is to add neutral. The second is neutral authentication between the client and the PLC, so that the client and the PLC controller are authentication neutrally. The third is mandatory password strength settings. This is very necessary at this stage in the industry since few people set passwords for PLC or only set weak password, which can be easily cracked by brute force attacks. A false strong password can prevent such attacks. The fourth point is to add physical hardware protection techniques, which is the simplest and the most feasible way to prevent the hardware design technology from being stolen and the core information from being obtained. The above mentioned are common methods of protection. We are sure there are much more. This method can be used in the design of PLC and its client software. Use this method, it can effectively prevent much of the obvious breach of the access protection. It will also make our and PLC users feel more confident and secure, and will prevent some unauthorized attackers on our critical infrastructure. But it's a marathon, and only consistent, vigorous, and comprehensive protection can ensure that our critical infrastructure are safe from attacks like the Ukraine power outage. Okay, that's all for today's presentation. Thank you all for joining the talk. If you have any question, please feel free to contact me. Bye-bye.